When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does online business better than Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/income.
This is The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. I don't know about you, but I hear a lot about balance. How do we balance it all? A family, our career, our running goals. My answer is usually that balance is overrated. If you want to do anything exceptional in life, you can't aim for balance with everything all the time. But less often, we talk about the other kind of balance, real physical balance, like being able to stand on one foot with your eyes closed, or simply being capable enough to prevent falls as we age. Most people think the sixth sense is about seeing dead people, but it's actually balance, which is critical to health, injury prevention, and longevity. How's your balance? Do you actively work on it? And what does balance have to do with running and performance? Let's find out. Welcome to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic, and my mission is to help you improve your running, your mindset, and your life with science-backed training and plant-based nutrition. In this episode, we are going to explore your real sixth sense, balance. You'll learn how balance training can prevent injury, how it can improve performance, and exactly what exercises you can do today to improve your balance. This is one of the most underrated training practices that runners can do that is also super simple and effective. If you know a runner that is missing out on balance training, now is a good time to go ahead and share this episode with them. Don't forget to stay tuned all the way to the end for another Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. But before we begin, have you taken a moment to write a quick Apple Podcast review? I get so many messages every week from around the world about how helpful this podcast has been to runners. But what actually makes it possible for me to do this work for you is positive reviews and subscribers. I hate that I have to ask this every week, but the algorithm must be fed, and I'd love for you to share what you think. It's simple, it's free, and it makes all the difference. So subscribe, follow, and write a review today. I sincerely thank you. You may have heard that running is simply a series of hops from one foot to the other. So it makes sense that we need to be able to balance on one foot, even if it's for a split second. But I would guess that very few runners actually train their sense of balance. So I'm going to go over why this is important and just how simple this is to do. Several scientific studies have shown that when a group of athletes train specifically for better balance, their risk of ankle injuries goes down versus the control group. One study had the participants use a wobble board for several months, and they found that two results were at play. The muscles surrounding the ankles got stronger and therefore controlled the ankle in a more stable position, which certainly is what you would expect from a physical training program working the ankles. The second thing they found was that the brain got better at becoming aware of the foot's position relative to the ground and other obstacles. So the brain got stronger at the same time. The phenomenon of being aware of how your body parts move in relation to your world is called proprioception, and it's extremely important to have a good sense of it to be able to run effortlessly and in control, not to mention avoid injuries and potholes. So working on balance on a wobble board works your ankles and your brain. Those are very important, of course, but where it gets really exciting is how balance work starts a chain reaction of good results. Have you ever suffered an IT band injury? The iliotibial band is a long band of connective tissue that runs along the outside of your thigh, connecting your pelvis to your knee, inserting into the top of the shin bone. It's a common point of irritation and injury in runners, and many think it's from overuse or too much running too soon. While that definitely can be the cause of IT band issues, the culprit could be instead an ankle injury on the opposite leg. By strengthening the ankle, you are less likely to compensate for an injury with poor form on your good leg. And when you're strengthening your brain's awareness of where your foot is in time and space, you're less likely to twist your ankle in the first place. I know this to be true firsthand. As I was recovering from a marathon, my right IT band felt irritated. I knew that stretching does nothing for the IT band, so I instead went to see my massage therapist. Instead of massaging my thigh, where I thought the injury was, she felt for a misalignment in my opposite ankle. Sure enough, one session with her erased 2 weeks of IT band pain. What else happens when we train our ankles for balance? We get increased ankle mobility and flexibility, which can help your stride. Runners only need to be flexible or have a wide range of motion in 4 places: the big toe, the ankles, the hips as they extend, and the thoracic spine. If you have nice, strong, flexible ankles, your push off the ground will be far more efficient. So what kind of exercises should runners be doing to improve their balance? I'll go over that when we come back. But first, I want to tell you about a unique opportunity for you to get stronger, faster, and stay motivated to hit your running and nutrition goals this year. And that's to join the PR team. I started it in 2022, and I have to tell you, it's even better than I imagined. Each member of the team gets a custom training plan made by me for you, based on your unique fitness, goals, and lifestyle. Everything you need to achieve your running dreams is included, such as strength training, recovery, and even cross-training if you want it. I include weekly mental strength training, as well as training tips and nutrition guides. But here's where it gets really cool. That group has its own page in the app where we share workouts, ask training questions, and get feedback from me and the other teammates. And each week, I create an exclusive private podcast just for the team based on the questions I get and what I see in their training each week. And I usually end up sharing behind the scenes and exclusive sneak peeks with the team that I don't share anywhere else. Instead of joining a team with a Facebook group or sitting through another Zoom call, you get to listen to tailored advice on the run, and you don't have to do all of this alone. If you're ready to take your running to the next level and join an amazing team of runners, head to theplantedrunner.com/group and join us today. It's more affordable than you think, and I can't wait to have you. The Planted Runner is sponsored by Liquid IV. I know most runners dread summer running, but I've got to tell you, I love it. The long days, the lack of layers of gear, it's just my favorite. But of course, I make it a priority to stay hydrated, and this year, that means Liquid IV. Summer is the perfect time to try their new Arctic raspberry flavor. Plus, Liquid IV has sugar-free solutions powered by Live Hydra Science for smart hydration. You can pre-hydrate before your run, add a stick to your bottle to carry with you, and naturally, you'll want to have it to add to ice-cold water after your run. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Squeeze the most out of your summer with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at liquidiv.com. Welcome back to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. Okay, so hopefully I have convinced you to invest a little in balance training. But what are we talking about here? We runners just like to run, and we coaches are always saying there's all these other things to do, like strength training, maybe cross training, and drills. So I get that you don't want to add yet another thing to your routine. That these are quick and they're easy, and well, at least they will be easy once you get the hang of them. The first thing to do is assess your baseline. So here's a test for you. Take off your shoes and set a timer for 30 seconds. Raise one knee so that your thigh is parallel to the ground, start the timer, and close your eyes. Can you stay balanced? It helps to hold your running form while you balance, so activate the glute on the planted foot. Keep your hips tucked underneath you. Keep your shoulders back and make a 90-degree angle with the elbow opposite the planted foot to mimic a mid-stride stance. If you fall over before the time goes off, you've got some work to do. Practice a few sets of this every day until you can comfortably balance on each leg for 30 seconds. The next exercise is the leg swing. Most runners do leg swings as a part of their warm-up routines, and part of this is to improve the range of motion in the hips, and the other part of it involves balance and control. Staying in control while you're not on the ground during the swing phase is a key part of efficient form. Start by standing and holding on to something like a wall or a fence for balance. Stand on one leg and swing the other leg 10 degrees forwards and backwards, controlling the swinging leg, and work up to about 30 degrees of swing front to back. Once you've mastered that, step away from whatever it is you're holding on to and do the swings without holding on to anything. Pay attention to your knees and try to avoid inward and outward rotation of the knees during the movement. For even more challenge, swing the opposite arm to meet the swinging leg in its forward position. Once you become a master at the single leg balance and the no holding on leg swing, it's time to up the ante. Try standing on something wobbly for single leg stands like a Bosu ball or even a rolled up yoga mat. Repeat the progression of becoming comfortable with balancing with your eyes closed and on an uneven surface for 30 seconds. For an even tougher challenge, add some momentum to your balance drills by bounding on one leg. This is a tough test of functional balance, and it's for athletes whose balance imperfections may not be noticeable until seriously challenged. Here's how you do it. Start in a runner's stance, balancing on one leg, and leap onto the opposite leg so you land in an identical stance. Jump from your left leg onto your right leg with the left arm swinging in an exaggerated running hop. When you land, hold the position and stick the landing like you're a gymnast at the Olympics. You want the knees and the torso straight ahead and your pelvis level. Then you can try bounding front to back to front, side to side, and diagonally to maximize your functional balance in all directions. These exercises don't need to take a lot of time. 5 minutes a day or even 3 times a week is really all you need. Having an excellent sense of balance might not be directly responsible for nabbing your next PR, but stability plays a major role in your ability to progress as a runner, especially if it prevents you from getting injured. Not to mention, a strong sense of balance can keep you on your feet instead of on the ground when you stumble in life. As we age, slips and falls are one of the most common catalysts for decline in our physical health. So aim to work on your balance consistently for better running and a better life. And now it's time for the Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Today's topic is choose a color each mile. This is a tip that I learned from one of my athletes named Judy. To get through the marathon, Judy chooses a color each mile to look for. Mile 1 might be red, so she looks for red hats, shorts, anything that is red, and she counts how many she finds. Mile 2 could be orange, and so on. Each mile she has a task to do that keeps her mind in the present and not focused on how far she has to run or how tiring it is. This clever imagination game is an excellent distraction technique, and it's especially helpful if your mind tends to worry or get anxious on the run.
Thank you for listening to The Planted Runner, part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Don't forget that you can enter to win a free custom training plan for your next race and get featured on the show. Just write an Apple Podcast review and enter at theplantedrunner.com/PRLab. Of course, reviews are the number one way to boost this show's reach, and it's a great way to tell me what you'd like to hear next because I read every single one. Have a great run today.